Hello, this is Jacob, and I'm going to show you a little bit of footage here on some window sash restoration work that I'm doing. This is the window sash, a small one out of the attic of the house I currently live in, Queen Anne style, built in 1888. This is a larger sash here, and I got these two set up because there's a inherent difference in them that's pretty dramatic, and they both have their own qualities that make them pretty cool to look at. I've just finished up stripping paint off of the mutton bars, and I just wanted to go over a few details to note on them that make them really fascinating from a woodworker standpoint. I do architectural millwork for a living. Anyways, so these guys here, let me get my pointer here. The smaller sash is all cope and stuck together on the mutton bars with a mortise, through mortise and tenon on the rails and stiles. And let me zoom over here to this other one real quick, and I'll point out what I'm talking about. This is your stile and rail, and basically that's your outside perimeter of the window sash. For those that don't know, that's cool. Got to learn something every now and then. And then these are your mutton bars. Oops, let me get the camera on. These guys are your mutton bars, and they are what divide the space up to create your lights. This is a light, and this is your clear view here, or what we'd call clear view. This is your glass rabbet that captures the glass. It goes in there, it gets glazing point put in to hold it, and then you'll put glazing, the compound that seals the glass, to wood, and then you'll paint it up after that's all done. So that's a quick anatomy of a window sash in a short order. I'm starting to lose a little light. It's getting dark in here. But anyways, so this larger window sash, which may, let me zoom out here, may have been made the way it's made because it's larger. I don't know. But that is a mortise and tenon mutton bars on this guy. And all the connections here, this is the through mutton, this one and this one are mortised into this mutton. So these are each individual pieces of wood here, and this is one long piece going the whole width of the sash. Let me get it going. There you go. So from here to here, it's all one piece. And all these guys going here are individual pieces. And that's why the one direction is all crooked and the other direction is all straight. And hopefully I'll get some of this straightened up when I put it back together. There is a little bit of slop and play to some of the connections. Nothing's that loose though. And because they are mortise and tenon together, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of moving them. It might look really bad since I've pointed it out, but the truth of the matter is these guys go in the attic of the house. So they're about 35 feet in the air. No one's going to see that. Back to the mortise and tenoning. So this guy here is just really fascinating. That is a wedge that is pinching the tenon coming off of this mutton bar going into this rail. And every other one, this one is not mortised in, this one is not mortised in, this one's mortised in, not mortised, mortised. So might ask, why is that? Well, it's because you can't have a mortise going in here and a mortise going in here when you put it together. They're opposing angles. You'll never get it together. So I suspect that this piece here was left out potentially and put in after the full assembly was done, and then they came back and put this in going into here. Now, that makes up the connection for this entire sash. It is interesting how the mutton bars got too short to finish out. They never had a little chunk going from here to here, to the best as I can figure. And it's only on this sash from, whoops, turn that, going here to here, here and here. It's missing that little piece. It was never there. My glass proves that it was never there because the piece of glass goes all the way through. And these are true divided where the wood goes all the way through. See if I can zoom in here. There you go. Goes from here to here. instead of being simulated divided light, which is a more modern technique, which pretty much replaced the entire market of true divided. And you'd have a piece of wood here, and there'd be a gap between the two, and the piece of glass, insulated glass, would go between. This is all single strength glass that's in here. No insulation or no insulated glass as far as that goes in these windows. And that's okay. So the whole purpose of this video is because I'm an architectural millwork guy and I absolutely love this stuff. I eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this window sash over here has this guy right here. And you might say, well, what is so special about that guy right there? Well, this guy here is tiny. In the realm of machining and processing wood, that piece of wood right there is absolutely tiny. It is maybe an inch and an eighth long. Well, actually, it is an inch. I measured it. It's an inch and an eighth long from this point to this point right here. That is absolutely tiny. To hold on to that guy while you're machining has got to be a real challenge. Just to show you how small my clear view opening is on that light, I'm going to bring up here that's the head of an 1 1/4 inch screw. I think it's a number 7 screw. That will not fit through that hole. That's how small that is. That's like a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch triangle. I just dropped my screw, so I was going to put the threads through it so you could see. But this is a standard, nail set by Stanley. And, well, you can just see how fast it seizes up on the taper there. It's pretty small. Anyways, I just wanted to point out how impressive it is that somebody coped this on a 45, and then this is a 90-degree straight cope, which is kind of normal, and put that sucker in there. And it's really tight in there. They got that nailed really well. And anyways, they've got that made, and I'd be fascinated to see how they did that back in the day, because, well, that would just be a real challenge. I would love to try to do it myself one day. This kind of stuff is what makes the job fun. But yeah, that is just an absolutely tiny, tiny mutton bar. And my biggest theory is that the cope may be hand cut with a coping saw potentially to get that to come out. I don't know for a fact, just because it is so small. You could cut that, set up a jig with long stock and cut that 45 cope in there, and then come back and cut this off to finished length, and then potentially hand cope that in there, which would still be a tremendous amount of work, but that would be one way to do it. These are they're 133 years old. These are all made in a mass manufactured facility. None of this is handmade, to the best of what I can tell. They definitely had mass manufacturing by this time. And anyways, I will be doing some epoxy work on them to get them cleaned up for where the wood's really deteriorated. But in general, these things are in great shape, and they're really cool. Just to help define what a cope is what everything I keep talking about. This is what a cope is. It's the reverse profile. If I can get that to focus on that piece. I can't hold it. There we go. No, it's still not the best. It's the reverse profile. That's the part that's been cut out. You can see it matches a profile that looks like the profile that's going into. So if you look at right into that, it's the same thing. And that allows you to come together. And now those two pieces look like they're one. And that's, well, I tell you what, that's doing a terrible job of focusing. Anyways, that's how that works. And that's what a cope is. So this guy here is just impressive. They are hand numbered with a chisel. If I pull my sash out of here, there is, let's see, that would be the right orientation. So that is I don't know if that's 4 or 6. I can't even remember on these Roman numerals. But anyways, so the pencil writing, that's my markings that I put on there. It's the top sash, and it's window 300. Or 306. That's 3rd floor, 6th window. My writing's kind of hard to read there. But anyways, that's everything I have to talk about at the moment. And I'll probably be doing another video at some point related to my house restoration work. Thanks for watching.